Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive into Khan Academy Vietnam and the amazing year they had in 2024. We've got this internal report that KAV put out celebrating all their achievements. It's really inspiring stuff, like we're talking growth impact. Oh, and some seriously cool events they held this past year.
Yeah, and one of the things that's really fascinating about Khan Academy Vietnam, KAV, is that it's gone way beyond just like being an online platform. It's really become like a movement, like transforming education for literally millions of Vietnamese students.
That's huge. And speaking of huge, this report highlights some seriously impressive numbers. Over 204 million learning minutes, 2 million user accounts.
It's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot of people.
And it really drives home the point that these aren't just abstract figures. These numbers represent real students and parents and teachers across Vietnam, all working towards a better education.
Absolutely. And it's not just individuals either. KAV's reach extends to over 5,300 schools across 14 different provinces and cities. They even have 8 provinces now collaborating at the Department of Education level.
Wow, so that's a pretty significant portion of the country embracing this new approach to learning.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get really interesting for me. They have this thing called the Open School model, and I have to admit, I'm really curious to unpack exactly how that works.
Okay, so imagine a system where a free online platform like Khan Academy works alongside traditional schools, not to replace them, but to boost digital education nationwide. And that's basically the essence of the open school model.
Got it. So it's not about throwing out the old system, but about integrating technology to make it better.
Exactly, and to make sure this integration is a success. KAV has invested a ton in teacher training. I mean, think about it. 25,000 teachers equipped to navigate the digital age.
Wow.
That's incredible. And that's not about replacing teachers. It's about empowering them to be even better guides for their students.
Makes sense. Providing teachers with the tools and training they need to thrive in this new digital world is key. But how is this playing out in different parts of Vietnam? The report mentions success stories from Nguyen Quang to Quien Giang. That's quite a range.
It is. And that's actually one of the strengths of the open school model. It's adaptable. So you take Nguyen Quang, for example, they're focused on long-term sustainable digital education development. Whereas Hoa Binh is using technology to drive rapid educational transformation, 2 totally different approaches, but both are seeing real success within the open school framework.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's about tailoring the approach to the unique needs of each region.
Yeah, and this adaptability is also super apparent in Hanoi, where they're emphasizing synchronized and high-quality digital integration. They're even focusing on specific districts like Ba Vi, Mu Dec, and Phu Dien, each with their own unique implementation strategies.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this model really works on the ground. But it's not just about working within schools, right? KAV also has these things called open classes. And those sound seriously cool.
Oh, they are. These classes go beyond the traditional school curriculum, offering diverse learning experiences led by experts, international teachers, even Olympia champions.
Talk about inspiring role models.
Right.
Over 50 classes in 2024 alone. Some of these just jump out at me. 50 hours of programming with the Zoda experts. I mean, getting students to work on real-world tech projects.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And then you have the real-world English with teachers from the U.S. class, connecting over 300 students and building their confidence in communicating internationally. It shows KAV's commitment to equipping students with practical skills for a globalized world.
Absolutely. And it's not all about tech skills either. They're offering math support classes led by talented university students. And here's the catch. They're in both Vietnamese and English.
Yeah, that's addressing a critical need for accessible tutoring. Regardless of language preference, it shows a real sensitivity to the diverse needs of learners.
Then you have the Olympia champion-led classes. Imagine being a student and getting math support or SAT prep from someone who's achieved such incredible success. Talk about motivation.
It's a brilliant way to leverage local talent and success stories to inspire the next generation of learners. It creates this powerful sense of possibility and aspiration.
It really does. But KAV's impact goes way beyond just these individual learning experiences. They also hosted this massive international conference in 2024, Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Education. 300 delegates from 17 countries.
And leaders from Vietnamese departments of education and training, plus a really strong media presence. It signals KAV's ambition to be at the forefront of educational innovation.
The question they tackled is a big one. How can AI support better learning and address educational inequality? That's a conversation we need to be having.
Absolutely. And it's crucial to note that the tone of the conference wasn't fear-mongering about AI replacing teachers. It was optimistic, focused on embracing the potential of AI to create educational breakthroughs.
Okay, I am so ready to dive deeper into this AI conference and what came out of it. But for now, let's take a quick pause. There's much more to uncover in this deep dive, so stick with us.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive into Khan Academy Vietnam's work in 2024.
So picking up from where we left off, I'm really struck by how KAV is shaping the educational landscape across Vietnam. We talked about those impressive numbers, but it's their open school model that's really caught my attention.
Yeah, and as we dig further into this report, it's really fascinating to see how this model is playing out in such diverse provinces. I mean, remember, we're talking about regions with varying resources, challenges, and starting points. Yet the open school model seems to be thriving everywhere.
That's what I find so compelling. It's not this rigid top-down solution. It's a framework that can be tailored to local contexts. In part one, we touched on a few regional examples, but I think it'd be great to rewind and really explore those in more depth.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start with Thuyen Quang. They're taking this long-term approach to digital education development. And what's key here is their focus on sustainability. They're not just chasing quick wins, they're building a really solid foundation for digital learning that can benefit generations to come.
That's a really important point. It's about investing in lasting change, not just temporary fixes. Then you have Hoa Binh, which has seen such a dramatic transformation thanks to technology. The report mentions how teachers are embracing new methods, and students are actually getting excited about subjects like math and digital skills.
It highlights a key insight. Technology, when implemented thoughtfully, can reignite that spark of curiosity and joy in learning. It makes education feel relevant, engaging, even fun.
It's not just about making learning more enjoyable, though, right? It's about equipping students with the skills they need to thrive in a rapidly evolving world. Now, Hanoi's approach is interesting. They're going for this synchronized, high-quality digital integration across the entire city.
And what's impressive is how they're breaking that down to the district level, focusing on places like Ba Vi, Mu Duc, and Phu Xuan. Each district has its own distinct focus, showcasing the adaptability of the open school model.
So in Ba Vi, they're making sure teachers are comfortable using the Khan Academy platform. In Mu Duc, the emphasis is on making learning joyful. And in Phu Xuan, it's about leveraging technology to ensure all students have access to resources no matter where they live.
Exactly. And that's a crucial aspect of Cassie's work, ensuring equitable access to quality education.
Yeah.
Technology becomes a tool to level the playing field and bridge those opportunity gaps.
It's inspiring to see how these diverse approaches are all woven together under the open school model, but the tapestry extends beyond the big cities, right?
Absolutely. The report highlights provinces like Phu Thot, which are determined not to be left behind in the digital age. They're using technology to keep pace with global educational trends.
That's a forward-thinking approach. Then there's Thai Binh, which is putting a big emphasis on the practical application of technology in education. Their teachers are actively seeking out new ways to enhance their teaching methods using digital tools.
And we can't forget Thanh Hoa, a region known for its creativity and innovation. They're using Khan Academy to transform classrooms into these dynamic learning environments where technology isn't just an add-on, but an integral part of the learning process.
It's amazing to see how KAV is empowering regions to take ownership of their digital transformation journeys.
And that brings us to a crucial takeaway from this report. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about empowering people to use technology effectively. That means empowering students to become self-directed learners, empowering teachers to become even more effective guides, and empowering communities to create better educational opportunities for all.
That's such a powerful insight. Technology becomes a tool for human empowerment, not a replacement for human connection and ingenuity.
Precisely. And this ethos is reflected in KAV's work in other regions as well. For instance, the report highlights Quang Tri, which is taking a methodical, step-by-step approach to educational innovation. They're using technology to improve math skills and encourage teachers to experiment with new pedagogical approaches.
It's about finding the right pace and approach for each region. And then there's Binh Duong, known for being very proactive in adopting new technologies. They've fully embraced Khan Academy as a driver of educational reform.
And even in Kiên Giang, a province geographically distant from the major hubs, we see this incredible dedication to bringing technology into every classroom.
It really paints a picture of a nation embracing a shared vision for the future of education. But this isn't just about looking inward, right? Remember the MOU signed between the Vietnam Foundation and the College Board. That's a huge step towards connecting Vietnamese students with global opportunities.
Absolutely. It signals a commitment to providing pathways to international education, opening doors to universities and colleges worldwide. Imagine the possibilities for Vietnamese students.
It's about breaking down barriers and giving students the tools they need to compete on a global stage.
But while KAV growth within Vietnam, that brings us to the book launch and discussion event for the Vietnamese translation of The One World Schoolhouse.
Yes, that event was fascinating. It wasn't just about celebrating a book launch, it was about sparking a nationwide conversation about the future of education fueled by the ideas in Salman Khan's book.
And what were your key takeaways from that discussion? What resonated with you the most?
What struck me was how even when discussing a technology as potentially disruptive as AI, the conversation kept circling back to the importance of the human element in education.
That's such a critical point. It would be easy to get swept up in the hype of AI. But KAV is clearly mindful of the fact that technology is a tool. It's the human element, the teachers, the mentors, the sense of community that truly brings education to life.
Exactly. And the discussion also touched on how AI could potentially address educational inequality.
Which aligns perfectly with KAV's mission to make quality learning accessible to all students.
It's not just theoretical either. They discussed real-world examples of how AI is already being used in classrooms globally.
So it's about moving beyond the hype and looking at tangible applications.
It's clear that KAV isn't just talking about the future of education, they're actively building it. But before we get too carried away with the possibilities, let's pause here for a moment. We've covered so much ground, but there's still more to explore in this deep dive. Join us for the final part, where we'll delve into the key takeaways from KAV's remarkable 2024. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Khan Academy Vietnam and their extraordinary 2024. It's been an incredible journey, hasn't it?
It really has, from their reach to their innovative programs. I mean, KAV's impact is undeniable.
For sure.
But what's really resonated with me is that consistent thread of empowerment woven throughout their work.
I completely agree, whether it's equipping teachers with new skills, connecting students with global opportunities, or sparking these national conversations about the future of education. KAV is all about empowering individuals and communities.
And that, I think, is the real genius of their approach. They're not simply delivering information or resources, they're creating a ripple effect of empowerment that extends far beyond the individual learner.
It's like they're building this network of empowered learners, educators, and changemakers, all working together to shape the future of Vietnamese education. But what are the key ingredients that make their approach so effective? What's the secret sauce, so to speak?
One crucial element is their unwavering belief in the power of technology to democratize education. They see technology as a tool to level the playing field, to make quality learning accessible to everyone regardless of their background or location.
Right, and they're not just throwing technology at the problem, they're thoughtfully integrating it into the existing educational system, working hand in hand with teachers, schools, and government agencies. It's about collaboration, not disruption.
Exactly. KAV understands that lasting change requires a collective effort. They've built this really impressive network of partners, from local schools to international organizations, all united by this shared vision for better education.
And that collaborative spirit is also evident in their approach to this teacher training. They recognize that teachers are the heart and soul of the educational experience. Technology can enhance their work, but it can never replace the human connection, the passion, the dedication that teachers bring to the classroom.
Absolutely. And this brings us to another key ingredient in KAV's success: adaptability. I mean, we've seen how their open school model is being implemented in such diverse ways across Vietnam, tailored to the unique needs of each region.
It speaks to the flexibility of the model, its ability to work within existing systems rather than trying to impose a one-size-fits-all solution.
Precisely. And this adaptability also extends to their willingness to innovate and experiment. Whether it's their open classes, bringing in experts and Olympiad champions to inspire students, or their exploration of cutting-edge technologies like AI. KAV is constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in education.
It's this blend of vision, collaboration, adaptability, and a deep respect for the human element that makes KAV such a powerful force for change. As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm filled with a sense of optimism and excitement for the future of Vietnamese education.
I share that feeling. With organizations like KAV leading the way, the possibilities truly are limitless.
But before we go, I want to bring this back to our listener. Why should they care about Khan Academy Vietnam's story? What's the takeaway for someone who might be miles away from Vietnam?
That's a great question. I think KAV's story holds valuable lessons for anyone passionate about education, no matter where they are. It demonstrates what's possible when we combine technology collaboration and human ingenuity to create a more equitable and empowering educational landscape.
It's a reminder that education is a universal language. The challenges and opportunities we face are often shared across borders.
And perhaps most importantly, KAV's story is a testament to the power of hope, the belief that education can truly transform lives and communities.
So as we close this deep dive, we leave you with a final thought. How can we apply the lessons from Khan Academy Vietnam's success to our own communities and educational systems? How can we as individuals contribute to building a world where every learner has the opportunity to reach their full potential?
We encourage you to reflect on these questions and to seek out opportunities to make a difference in your own corner of the world.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into Khan Academy Vietnam's extraordinary year. We hope you've been as inspired as we have by their story.